why Alain Prost may have been better than Lewis, Max, Senna and Schumacher. Not a popular statement I just made, but I'm not a popular man. Wait, that doesn't sound right. But anyways, this is why Alain Prost may possibly have been better than Lewis, Max, Ayrton Senna, and even Mickey, maker of shoes. Prost never was as flashy as PK, as gutsy as Lauda, as determined to win at any cost as Schumacher, or as ridiculously talented as Senna. What he was, however, was one of the most consistent drivers of all time, racing in a time where it wasn't strange to retire between a quarter and a third of the races you entered. He managed to retire 29.65% of his races, and he won 25% of them, with a 53% podium finishes throughout his career. That is impressive. His whole career reads as follows: entries 202, 199 starts, championships 4, runners-up finishes 4, wins 51, podiums 106, career points 768.5, which counted towards the title. Yeah, there were lots of different rules back then, including a lot less points. Pole positions 33, fastest laps 41. Now why is that even more impressive than it sounds? Because of his ridiculously good teammates. Lauda, Rosberg, the guy whose son beat Hamilton in equal machinery in 2016. Senna, Mansell and Hill were some of Prost's teammates that were or would become world champions, winning 9 drivers' titles between them. Who else in history has had this quality in the car next to them? 69 points to 14. That's the margin Prost forced 3-time world champion Nikki Lauda into retirement with, after Lauda beat him to the title by half a point the previous season. He beat the second greatest mustache in Formula 1 history, once champion and father of the guy who beat Lewis Hamilton in equal machinery, Keke Rosberg, by 74 points to 22. He beat the owner of the greatest mustache in Formula 1 history, Nigel Mansell, by 73 points to 37 in the Ferrari. Starting to think Prost may have disliked people with upper lip hair. I don't see him as a great Movember guy with his stats. When teamed up with most people's choice for the greatest of all time, Ayrton Senna.
Senna sprints away, but Alain Prost takes the lead. It's happened. Alain Prost has taken the advantage. Senna is trying to go through on the inside, and it's happened immediately. This is amazing. Senna goes off.
And I think if Prost wants to be called the sole champ and 3 times world champ and come back in a sportive way, maybe win another championship, he should be sportive. The way he's doing, he's behaving like a coward.
Finished second in the title race once, and then he beat Senna to the title in their final season as teammates. Overall, outscoring Senna by 163 points to 150 in their 2 seasons in similar machines. Now that's GOAT stats, dudes. Or whatever the French prefer to call it. I don't know, snail stats, or Peugeot stats, or Citroen stats. I don't know, I'm not French. But anyways, that is pretty impressive. Contemporaries. He made his Formula 1 debut in 1980 with McLaren and finished 3rd in the championship in his rookie season. It's mighty impressive. Multiple world champions were at their peak during Prost's career, including triple champion and father-in-law of Max, Nelson Piquet, Nigel, the mustache of the people, Mansell, Ayrton Senna, Keke Rosberg. Did you know that his son beat Lewis Hamilton in equal machinery? He also faced past his best Lauda and up-and-coming Schumi, and Damon, born at the age of 34, Hill, and some other top talents like Gerhard Berger and Riccardo Patrese. Winning 51 races, which was the most by any driver, till some German kid came and set a new record, and then some English guy came and shattered that. Driving style, Prost employed a smooth, relaxed style behind the wheel, deliberately modelling himself on personal heroes like Jackie Stewart and Jim Clark. He was nicknamed the Professor for his intellectual approach to competition, though it was not a name he particularly cared for. He would admit later that it was an appropriate summation of his approach to his racing. Skilled at setting up his car for race conditions, Prost would often conserve his brakes and tyres early in a race, leaving them fresher for a challenge at the end. And I just quoted Wikipedia with the driving style. Consistency. It's said one of my favorite websites, www.f1fansite.com. I quote, "The Professor Alain Prost may not have had the terrific pace of his arch rival Ayrton Senna, or the relentless consistency of Michael Schumacher, or even the brilliance of Juan Manuel Fangio, but alongside those 3 legends he forms the 4 greatest drivers to have ever raced in Formula 1. Prost was smooth, clever and fast. The Frenchman held the majority of records before they were surpassed by Schumacher. An incredible 51 wins and 4 world championships make him a genius. Prost changed Formula 1 in the way he thought. He used his mind to win. He was smarter and more intelligent than any other driver on the grid. His nickname, the Professor, pays testament to that. End quote. Winning 4 drivers' titles, finishing runner-up 4 more times, setting records against one of the toughest grids of all time while driving cars that would break a third of the time. That's Alain Prost, the Professor, the man that could be demolished in quali by Ayrton Senna but still have the mental fortitude to beat the Brazilian in the race. A lot like an earlier, more successful version of Fernando Alonso to the Hamilton version of Senna. If Alain Prost is not the greatest, he cannot be excluded in any conversation about who was. To me, he will always be one of the best ever. The original smooth operator, Alain Prost. That's our video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, please press that sub button. Please come back again next time and share the video to help us grow. We have new stuff coming out weekly. God bless. Goodbye.